Hey, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy Turkey Day, happy football day, happy, all that stuff. How's everybody doing? Um, Thought we'd jump on and do kind of like an old fashioned Thanksgiving. When I was single, I used to do holiday shows all the time before we went and got with, did the family thing. But how's everybody doing? I don't know if we got, you wait, 1-2 is here. How you doing, Ryan? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for jumping in, man. I'm actually going to make sure I got the comments up here. I got the comments on the screen this time, so I think everybody can see them. But I know we got Kurt jumped in from under the bus. Kurt 5150. He won't be able to make it. He's him and his family are doing the turkey trot. I used to do those. I can't stand those stupid things. Even my stepdaughter yesterday, she was like, "I don't want to do the damn turkey trot." She didn't say damn, but well, I think she did actually. But so have fun, buddy. Thanks for piping in. Music Therapy Laz, happy Turkey Day to you too. You won't be able to watch the live show. Totally understand. Hope you catch it on a replay sometime. But kind of think I got something cool to show. I think everybody kind of probably knows what it is. I've hinted about it. But thanks for the comment, Music Therapy. Appreciate it, man. And like I said, I know these holiday shows can be a bit tricky because, family stuff. I get it. We got family coming over in a few hours. Myself, my mom and dad are going to be here, and Jesse's some of her family, her dad and brother are going to be here, and Jesse's daughter is here today. Her son is with his dad. Kind of did a split the kids thing up, which kind of works good for the holidays. Sometimes you try that. So and my kids are there, and my kids and their spouses are with their mom, and my granddaughter's also with them. So that's kind of cool. So everybody's kind of split up. Anybody who's a little bit older knows that when the kids grow up and you got grandkids and things like that, things kind of change. Not necessarily bad, but different, I guess you could say. So everybody, thank you for jumping in. 5150XT4D. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Thank you. Again, Ryan, thanks for jumping in. We got to catch up, dude. Got some interesting stuff to talk to you about here pretty soon. Jimmy Ka, happy Thanksgiving, man. Hope you and Chrissy and the kiddos are doing well. Say hi to Brio. I hope she's doing good. Thanks for jumping in. Hope you guys are going to have a fun one too. Keo 2429, happy Thanksgiving to you. John Marks, how you doing, my friend? John is everybody probably knows John, I think. John is a good friend and an incredible guitar builder. He's done a few guitars for me, mainly my latest Frankenstrat, which is super, super, super cool. And I still love it. It's probably the best one I've ever had, hands down. But thank you, everybody, for jumping in. What's everybody else got going on today? If anybody has any quick comments to leave in the chat, please do. I'd love to hear what we'd all love to hear what your plans are. And we're going to go for about an hour today, maybe just a little bit less. We'll wrap up in probably about noon, maybe a couple minutes after. Just kind of thought it'd be fun to do a quick holiday show. And like we said earlier, if folks can catch it, great. If they can't, it'll be on the channel. Anybody who would, I hate saying this, but I always feel needy, but I don't want to sound that way, but I think everybody understands. But if anybody wants to donate to this channel, I've been doing this now for this particular channel for close to 8 years. And I try to put some good stuff out there. We had George Felice on, we had Steve Rosen on. Dweezil Zappa actually came and visited Dojo 5150, but he's probably going to come on and do the show sometime. I do have I'm not going to mention it now, but I do have something really special coming from George Felice really, really soon. I can't disclose what it is. I'm not one of those guys that says, I know something you don't know. I don't like doing that. I just want to keep everybody, I want to throw a little teaser out there. There's something really special coming. And George is going to be on the show again. We might be in person. And that's all I'm going to say. And it's not going to be here. So at the dojo, I don't think. So there's something really special coming. So stay tuned on that. I got to reach out to George. But if anybody would like to donate to this channel, I would really appreciate it. We would appreciate it. I'm trying to get some different resources, get some better stuff. Right now, there's not a donate button on this page. However, there will be soon. But if you go to my main YouTube page, there's a PayPal Me link. If anybody wants to donate anything to the channel, that would be great. If not, no problem too. Just jump in and enjoy. But if folks would like to do that, it is an option. And I'll see if I can make it a little bit easier too moving forward so there's something on the screen. But enough of that. What do we got going on? Anything new? Happy Thanksgiving, Rob, and everyone in the chat. Simon Williams. Good. How you doing? Thanks, man. Appreciate it. So I guess we will just unveil this guitar. And I'll try to keep up with the chat. Like I said, I know we only got a little bit of time, but this is a guitar that Chris Hubbard and I were talking about doing a long time ago, and then I told Scott Smith a long time ago I was going to do it, and it just turned into one of those things, he's never really got around to. And I finally got the resources to do it. Hold on, I got to grab one thing here. Got to make sure I have this little tool to show you here. So I'm going to explain this guitar. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about the history. I'll play a little riff on it, and we'll discuss the process. And at the end of the show, I'm going to give you a little surprise about this guitar. Some things are not as they seem. My wife Jessie says I ruin surprises all the time. I just give everything away, but whatever, right? Smith & Wesson, baby. I got this at the Smith & Wesson Academy back in 2005 when I was taking an instructor tactical class back at their academy. It was a great class. So let me share something here with you. Where is it? Okay, I guess it here's. So has anybody ever seen this guitar? That is the same guitar. The one on the left and the one on the right is the same exact guitar. The one on the right is from the Young Guitar magazine, one of the Young Guitar Eddie magazines. Same guitar, but you'll notice it has one of the tone knobs is missing. And then the more current version of that guitar, again, same guitar. You notice that he changed it up a bit and he took out the volume knob, at least, the pot out of the hole, and then probably moved it down because he's not going to have two tone knobs without a volume knob, right? So Eddie always said that he didn't like knobs so close to where he was picking. That's why most of his guitars, non-production Strats or Tellys or stuff like that, you'll see he alters them. I mean, there's Steve Rosen and I were joking. There's a video or an audio of him from '78 when Steve was interviewing him, and Eddie's playing one of Steve's guitars. Eddie says, "You mind if I pull this knob off?" It's kind of cool, It's like Eddie's always messing with stuff, which carried over to the Chris Holmes Destroyer. By the way, I got my Destroyer right here also. Anyways, this is a 1964 Fender Stratocaster, and it's the 5150 scratch guitar, as they called it. I'm going to leave this up here for a little bit. I got another picture of it here. I'm going to read this to everybody and put my my idiot glasses on because I am 52 and I am getting old, and these help a lot. So this is from the Guitar Aficionado magazine back in 2012, which I guess you could say showcased a bunch of Eddie's guitars. Anybody that doesn't have that magazine, I highly encourage you to get it. It's online. eBay will have it. 1964 Fender Stratocaster 5150. I bought a lot of guitars from Dan Martin, who had a shop called Guitar Exchange in St. Charles, Missouri. Dan brought that Strat to me after a show. I tried it out in the dressing room and thought it was cool, so I asked how much he wanted for it. After I agreed to the price, I turned to whoever was in the room with us and asked for a screwdriver. Boy, we know what's about to happen, don't we? I took the screwdriver and scratched 5150 on the front of that Strat. Obviously, some other stuff. He made some other marks too. Dan was going, "What the hell are you doing? That's a mint condition 64 Strat." I told him that I wanted to make sure that I knew it was mine. If anyone ever stole it, I would know right away that this was my guitar. He looked at me as if I was desecrating the Holy Grail. That didn't matter to me. The scratches didn't affect the way the guitar played or sounded. I used that guitar on Finish What You Started. It just fit the song. It wasn't a heavy song, so it didn't need a heavy guitar. Kind of interesting on that guitar. I think if I had to, I got a couple pictures I'm going to show in a minute of the OU 812 tour where Eddie was playing Finish What You Started on stage. And also, I have a short video of my, where did my phone go? I have a short video of Eddie playing it live in the 1990 Cabo Wabo grand opening. I'm just going to text my wife real quick and see if she can bring me my phone. Actually, I think it's probably easier if I just do this real quick. Hang on, be right. Okay, I think we're back. I apologize for that. I couldn't find my phone, and I needed to have this to show you guys something. Can everyone hear me right now? I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. Sorry about that. I did find my phone. It's imperative that I have my phone. Can everybody hear me? Just send something in the chat. Let me know that I got the sound back. Just want to make sure that's working. Anybody hear me? Nothing like being professional, right? Everything, just waiting for, I think we're good. All good. Thank you, John. Thank you. Okay. Definitely apologize for that. So this particular guitar is really interesting. And again, we were talking about the two different versions of it. I would say that the story on this guitar where Dan's talking about Eddie backstage, if in fact Eddie did record Finish What You Started with this guitar, that would probably mean that it was given to him sometime in '86 during the 5150 tour. That would be my best guess, because if it was given to him backstage, or, you know, obviously it had to have been given to him before he recorded Finish What You Started. Now, I've heard I've heard conflicting things on that as far as where's this picture right here we're looking at? I've heard conflicting things on that as far as what he actually used to record Finish What You Started. But if he did in fact use this, it would probably, like I said, I think it would probably indicate that he got it around sometime around 86. Oh, hi, Barney. Barney will make an appearance here in a few minutes. So Eddie had actually two guitars. And if anybody has one of these young guitar magazines, I can't put, for whatever reason, it won't let me put this picture up. And I'm going to show you guys, this is that guitar. So you can see the back of it, the 5150 scratch guitar. You can see it right there, right? And he had another Strat. That's the back of it too. This one we're talking about now, the 5150 scratch one, is a Strat headstock. It's a Fender Strat, obviously 64. And the other one is a, looks like that's a, what's that say, 67? I think this says that's a 57 Strat with a Tele maple neck headstock on it. This is the guitar that Ed used to play Finish What You Started live. And I don't know if this video is going to play. If it doesn't, don't worry. I'm going to play it on my phone. This is Ed playing that guitar with a Tele headstock live on stage in Cabo Wabo. Yeah, for some reason it locks up. So this is why I needed my phone. I will just show you guys this. So here it is. Pretty cool stuff. Eddie, one of the things I love about that song live is specifically in the 88 tour, the OU 812 tour, he just, his improvisation, I guess you could call it, at the end of the song when he was soloing, was every time he played it different. If you listen to the Tokyo, it's called Monsters Are Revisited. It's one of the Tokyo Dome shows in '89. If you listen to the Finish What You Started version, or excuse me, Finish What You Started song on that concert, the end fade out solo was just absolutely phenomenal. It's just incredible. So like anything else, Eddie improvised, you know, and when he recorded songs, he kind of, you know, when we go playing live, he would add different things too. I mean, every song Eddie never played exactly like the album. Very, very rarely did he ever. The funny thing about getting back to this guitar in just a second, if Eddie did in fact use this guitar to record the song, right, he probably did not use it live to play the song in OU 812. Now, obviously, the first time they played the song live was in the OU 812 tour. Interesting fact, though, I believe the OU 812 tour started in '88, and then they went and did the Monsters of Rock stadium tour for a few months. Then they went back and finished off the OU 812 tour. What's interesting is during that tour, both the OU 812 tour and the Monsters of Rock and back, there's a few changes they made. Once in the, I'm pretty sure during the Monsters of Rock version, they omitted Finish What You Started. And they also omitted 5150, the song, and replaced that with Sucker and a Three-Piece. And then once the stadium Monsters of Rock tour wrapped up, they went back to the OU 812 tour and they put back in Finish What You Started. And then also started playing 5150 again, which was super cool, and omitted the Sucker and a Three-Piece. Now this picture right here is a picture of Ed playing Finish What You Started in '88. Now it's very difficult to see. That almost looks like a rosewood neck to me. And if that's the case, that might be the 5150 scratch guitar, so to speak. Typically, he would play the song live with the what was that other one? We said it was a 64, I think it was. I said 64 Strat. We just were talking about it a second ago. And that would have been, it's really super cool guitar. Yeah, that was a, I'm sorry, 57. So 57 Strat with a Telly headstock, maple neck. That's what he normally played the song live with. This particular one picture here could be that, but it looks like it also might be the rosewood fretboard with a Strat headstock, which would come back to this particular guitar right here. So Eddie never played a regular Strat, as far as I know, on tour again, other than an OU812, because they kept playing Finish What You Started, but the next tour was the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge tour. Eddie was using his Music Man, and he would just play it on the Music Man. He might have a different Music Man. And then in Balance, they played it a little bit in the beginning of the tour, but he never went back to playing it on a Strat, which is kind of interesting. So Eddie basically he probably had a bunch of Sumbra Strats, but those two main ones, the 57, which he played Finish What You Started live, and this 5150 scratch guitar that he desecrated with a screwdriver, right? I would imagine it's flatheads, small flathead. Has always been, that one has always been a guitar I've wanted to do. Not really sure I would go out and get a, what is it, a 64 vintage Strat to do that to. But I finally was able to acquire a Fender Mexican Strat, which is a great guitar, only for a couple $100, right? And I'm sorry, guys, I had to do it. Had to do it. You guys can see. Had to scratch that in there, right? And here's the screwdriver. So what do we think? I think everybody's probably just everybody's probably wondering, what the heck did he just do? On the back of this guitar, again, that's what the back of it looks like. Not really too much damage, a little bit of dings and stuff. So at some point, I'm probably gonna, do a little bit to the back, although I'm not really too concerned about it. I just wanted to kind of get the scratches up here and then down here, and basically get that. Let's see if I can show it. There we go. As best I can. And you guys will see the surprise in a little while. And of course, I had to take the volume knob out. And basically what I did is I took the volume knob out, moved it down, put a tone knob on it, and basically just took one tone knob out, and then the other tone knob just unhooked it, so it's dead. So it's basically just a one volume five-way switch. So with that being said, the 5150 scratch guitar. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's see what we got for comments here. Okay, I don't think we have much. So, give you a little demo of this thing. So plays really, really nice. Gosh, I haven't played Finish What You Started in a long time. It's kind of a tricky riff. A lot of guys play. I think Eddie finger picked it. I personally pick it I use a pick. There are certain parts that I'll finger pick, but it's kind of a neat riff. Anyways, just a little bit of riffage right there on this thing. I'm gonna work that song up now that I got this guitar. So here it is, the 5150 scratch guitar. What do you guys think? Not too bad, huh? These Mexican Strats, I'll tell you, they're good guitars. They really are. And it fits the bill perfectly because it says Fender Strat on it. And, it's got the same tuners and everything. And it says, it's got the MX on the back, Mexican. But this is a great guitar. I actually had a different Strat. I had a yellow Mexican Strat, which was kind of like a Yngwie style that a good buddy of mine did, Craig, from CHS Custom Guitars, turned it into a Yngwie Strat and did an amazing job on scallop in the neck and everything. I just didn't really play it that much. And then I saw this for sale up at my buddy's shop. And I'm like, oh, this is a great opportunity to do this because I've always wanted to do this. So I actually traded that one in and got this one. Basically just paid a couple $100, and I'm glad I did because this thing plays great too. So this is one, this is definitely not one I don't think. Well, I know one guy that did a replica of it. He's a good friend of mine. I'll talk about him in a few minutes. But this is it. This is it. Kind of neat. Kind of an interesting project to do. Certainly not a project that many other people would want to do, but I think everybody knows what kind of a person I am, right? So, here's the screwdriver. This guitar was assaulted with a friendly weapon, as David Lee Roth used to say. What do we got for comments? Anything? What else we got in here? I'll put my phone on silent. Simon, John Marks, 1969, Donovan. How you doing, man? Happy Thanksgiving. Jeff Shin, cool. I like it. Yeah, thanks for jumping in, guys. So yeah, this is the scratch guitar. And this is basically what I've been working on for the last, a few weeks. I picked this guitar up probably maybe a month ago and then messed around with it. I had my buddy do the rewiring for it and lowered the action a little bit. And it actually plays. I don't have it plugged in anymore, but plays really good. So yeah, it's a great guitar. I really like how it feels, how it plays, and it's definitely a good one for the collection. So John says it was a must-have for the collection, wasn't it, John? I know. I can imagine people looking at my thing last night, the post, and basically saying, "What the heck is he doing?" Oh, I just got a message from my good buddy Louis Costa from Fairfield Guitars. He doesn't know I'm doing a show. I'm going to say, happy Thanksgiving, bud. I'm doing a live show right now on my channel. And I just gave you a heads up. Fairfield Guitars. Happy Thanksgiving. So yeah. So just a couple other things on this guitar. I'd like to say it's not one, as far as I know, unless this picture is him playing it, which it could be, because you can't see what the headstock is, and that does look like rosewood to me, but it could be the lighting, it could be the 57, could be the 57 Strat that we're just talking about, or I keep forgetting what year it was. I think it was 57, or 54. Whatever. I keep forgetting. Gosh. Sticking me off. My brain isn't working so well today. What is it? 57. Yeah, 57. 57 and 64. So, again, if anybody has any pictures of Ed playing this 5150 scratch guitar, please let me know. And certainly if there's any videos of him playing it live. Now, there's also a video of Zeke Clark, who I've been trying to get in contact with as well, talking about backstage in Japan. He was showing the 1984 Kramer, the Steinberger. He actually showed the 64, the 54, or excuse me, the 57. He actually showed the 57 Strat with a Tele headstock too, and he basically said that's what Ed plays when he's on stage live. So again, hard to say if Ed had this one on tour with him, but who knows. But like I said, it's been said that he recorded Finish What You Started with it. we're not really sure. I've also heard some rumors that Eddie recorded 5150, the song, with a Strat. I don't think that would have been this particular guitar. And I've also heard that Eddie recorded that song 5150 with a Flying V. This, the same one that he used for Hot for Teacher. I'm not really sure. There's just a lot of debate on that. But kind of cool stuff. Definitely kind of cool stuff. So I wanted to get on and show you this guitar. And just looking at a couple things I wanted to hit. So Eddie, like I said, Eddie used the Strat for Finish What You Started, with the Telly headstock, not this one, live in 88, in the OU 812 portion of the tour. And again, I think the last time we see it live is when he used it in the April of 1990 for the grand opening of Cabo Wabo. And then I don't think he ever played Finish What You Started on a Strat again, live, that is, I mean, unless he, there was some kind of a smaller gig or something that they did, I should say, on tour. That Guitar Aficionado magazine is really neat because it doesn't just have, like the main guitars like the Frankie and the 5150, which we all love. It's got some more rare guitars. There you are, Lewis. I just gave Lewis from Fairfield Guitars a shout out. Lewis is a great friend. Lewis just sent me a text about some really cool stuff that he acquired. We'll chat about that. Happy Thanksgiving, buddy. I'm watching all the stuff you're doing online, and you're looking great, and you're making a huge dent. I remember when Lewis contacted me, gosh, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And he contacted me. I've seen your show or whatever. I'm working on these straps, and he was talking about the Destroyer strap and the Gunner strap, and I never heard of Lewis. And we started chatting, and I would like to think I had a couple interesting odds to give him, and during the process of that. And then Lewis just exploded, boom, and it was a great way to meet a new friend. And we've been pretty tight ever since then. And I've been watching everything Lewis has been doing over the last number of years, and he's just doing great. And the business is booming. And I got a lot of his stuff. And I'm just happy for you, bud. And thank you for jumping in. Happy Thanksgiving. Jeff says, is that a new magazine? Are you talking about the Guitar Man? No, this is an older magazine. It's been out for years. You can get these on eBay. Just type in the Guitar Man Van Halen Japan. There's different versions of this. There's one that was made before this, then this one came out, and there's another one that was made after it. They're basically all almost the same thing. They're pretty pricey though, but this book has, it's just incredible. It has pictures of all of Ed's main guitars, the Bumblebee, and it's got all kinds of good picks. Of course, the 5150, and definitely a good something good to pick up. So back to Finish What You Started. Like I said, the whole Eddie playing the Strat thing was kind of just for that tour. But again, back to that Guitar Aficionado magazine. Oh, maybe that's what you're talking about. If you're talking about the Guitar Aficionado magazine, Jeff, that this picture's in, that's from 2012, and you can find that online. In that magazine, in addition to those other, the main guitars that he plays, there's some really cool stuff here too that it shows of Ed's. And you're right, John, the Aficionados, it's a must-have magazine. It's got some real cool stuff. It's got the Kramer yellow double neck. The one thing I wished it did have in there was the Steinberger, but now this I don't want to get off on a tangent. I want to focus on the scratch guitar here, but the 1962 Gibson SG TV Junior. This is the guitar that Wolfgang, I think, played a little bit in one of his albums. I think it was his second album. Shows him on Instagram. Now, Ed recorded, I believe, Dirty Movies from Fair Warning on this guitar. And he couldn't get his wrist up high enough on the fretboard, so he took a hacksaw. Typical Ed, hacksaws, screwdrivers, whatever. But the screwdriver on this one was merely just to show that it was his. This particular guitar, where he hacked off the lower horn, was to actually make it play better for him. So it's kind of interesting, you know. Eddie says, I used to play that SG in the band's club days. It was a bitch to keep it in tune. The neck is heavier than the body. I didn't play it for very long because it's uncomfortable to play a guitar when you have to support the neck and play at the same time. He said, I hacked off the horn and the treble side of my SG because I couldn't hit the high notes with this side. They looked at me like I fell out of my tree, but it was by necessity. Yeah, we recorded Dirty Movies and Sunset Sound and asked for a hacksaw. So it's funny, you know, like I said, that one was due to necessity. This other one was just, you know, whatever, give me a screwdriver. So Ed was interesting with that kind of stuff. Next one, 1955, Gibson Les Paul Jr. There's pictures of Ed playing this guitar back in the video shoots for Jamie's Crying, Running with the Devil, all the official videos from Warner that they released back in '78 with the album. There's pictures from that photo shoot. It never made the video, but Ed having this guitar. He tried to says, I wanted to remove the paint so I could refinish this guitar. So I could paint. I think he wanted to paint it. And the paint wasn't coming off, so we ended up, you know, typical Ed. He just left it and sanded it down and left it like that. But it was in playing condition back in the '70s, and I do think he used it live, maybe in the club days and stuff like that. But there are pictures of Ed with this guitar back in '78 from the video photo shoot. It never made the videos, but some really cool stuff. So I wanted to talk about that. Let's see what we got for messages here. Jeff says, so cool, I need one of those. Always about the music for Ed. Yeah, you're right, John. He did not care what guitars looked like. I remember when he was doing made the PV Wolfgang, and this is on YouTube too. YouTube is just amazing. You see so much stuff. He did the interview with, he did a live interview in '96. He had all these people come in and watch, and he was basically demoing the PV Wolfgang, and he had, I think that was the same guitar that he used in the video for Humans Being. And as he's talking to the audience and they're asking him questions, Hartley PV was there, and Ed basically says, you know, I know I used to play an amber yellow Music Man, but he's like, you know, he basically said, you know, I don't even care what color it is, you know, and I think he goes, the thing could just be wood for all I care. And that's what Ed did. I mean, he only painted guitars to keep them interesting looking, and the stripes thing was his, obviously. I mean, we know there's a lot of debate out there. Did Ed, get the stripes from Chip Kinman, from the Dills, from, you know, putting the electrical tape on his guitar? Did he get the idea from that? Roth says that it was his idea. I mean, there's a guy with a motorcycle racer, I forget his name, with a helmet that was striped. You know, there's so many things back in those days. But Ed's, like the tapping thing, he's the one that capitalized on it and really took it to a new level. But the stripe thing was just to keep it interesting. It had nothing to do with playability. And that goes back to, you know, I mean, the perfect example is this guitar. I mean, he didn't care what it looked like, you know, whatever. It looks like crap. He didn't care what this SG Junior did to hack the horn off. And he certainly didn't care about this, what it looked like. I mean, like I said, that was more just a whatever. Who knows if there was adult beverages and other recreational items that were part of it. Who knows? But yeah, it's kind of neat. Alan Garber, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. You knew what was coming, didn't you? I don't know if I did a little demo on it, but Alan, I don't know. Here you go. You can go back and check it out. Guitar plays great. P90s, I'm not sure. P89s, I don't really know. I'd have to go back and look at the magazine. Keith 3990, how you doing, man? I don't know. I'm not really sure. But just some kind of cool stuff. I just wanted to talk about this guitar. I got a few more minutes, and I want to show a couple of other things and talk about just a few other items if anybody is interested. But if you have any questions, fire them off. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys. I guess I'll just mention it now. So I have a friend of mine who is from the Far East, A lot of you folks might know him. He did not want me giving his name, so I'm not going to do that. But he's a great friend. I've known him for a long time. He's got a really awesome Van Halen guitar collection himself, and we're always chatting and whatever. And I got the idea from him, and he now's where I'm going to spoil the idea, and some of you guys can actually breathe again. I did not use a screwdriver on this guitar. Some of you might have already seen. I was trying to hold the guitar so the glare didn't kill it. It does look pretty good though. So it wouldn't be very hard to do it. I would not use a screwdriver if I was going to do it. I'd use a Dremel tool. I'd take a Sharpie and I'd draw it in, and then I would just use a Dremel with like a coned type thing, and then just Dremel it. And I think that would be better. And I might do that someday. But my friend made this template, and these are actually water slide decals. So he did this for me, and he I don't think he wants his name out there because he's afraid everybody's going to be asking him for decals, so I won't give his name. But he did say that I could talk about it, and kind of cool. So he made a template, and these are decals. And so this guitar has not been hacked up. It does it does appear that way, but as you can tell, these are actually decals. If you hold it in the right light, you can see they're water slide. And I don't really care. I think it's pretty cool. And the ones up here are too. And that's why everything else on the guitar looks so, so clean, because I haven't done anything to it yet. I have decals for the back too, which I'll probably put on. And I kind of think this looks really cool, so I'm just going to leave it. If I ever decide I want to take them off, I could. Obviously, I put some eye bolts on this thing too. The real one does not have eye bolts, believe it or not. It just has regular strap buttons. But I figured in Ed fashion, I'd put them on. Plus, if I'm going to be playing this guitar and I'm standing up, I want to be able to do that. So these are decals. Pretty cool, huh? So I was upstairs putting them on last night. My wife was there, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, and then I showed her the pictures, and she's like, "Oh, that's actually kind of cool." So I did not desecrate the guitar. I just did everything I could to make it look like this one. So it is still in really good shape. Alan says, "Super cool." I won't mention his name either. Yeah, you know who it is. And the guy is just awesome. He's just such a great friend. As a matter of fact, he sent me the stickers and said there's an invoice. I have it up there, but I'm not going to grab it. It's not a big deal. He said the invoice is in there. I says, "No problem, man. I so appreciate this." Because I found this guitar, and I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm finally going to do it. And then I got chatting with him, and he's like, "Hey, I got something I'm going to send you." Anyways, he sends me the invoice, and I open up the invoice, and it's got this note. It says, "Merry Christmas, happy Merry Christmas early." He's just such a great guy. I mean, the whole Van Halen community, so many of us are just great people, and just so much knowledge. And after all these years, I still have fun doing stuff like this. It's so fun. It's just such a good time, and I just enjoy doing that. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about. We can, like I said, we can answer some more questions on it. I'm going to post some pictures online of this guitar. I'm not going to give away that they're decals. People are going to have to watch the show to see if that's the case, or figure that out. But yeah, this is it. This is what he sent. Kind of neat, huh? Oh, the humanity, John says. Larry, how you doing? Larry H5150. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, man. Thanks for jumping on. So I guess we can chat about a couple other quick things here real quick, just that you guys might be interested in. Everybody knows what this guitar is, right? What happened to this guitar, right? This went for $2.7 million. Yeah, I wish it was this one. And it is now in somebody's hands, and it made an appearance that we all knew. I remember back in Dave Nesdahl, rest in peace, buddy. remember back in the days when this guitar hadn't been seen, not even seen since a picture with Rudy holding it back in '85 when Ed gave it to him. And, he put, thanks for a great 10 years, Rude. Let's do another 10, Ed, whatever. I did not ever do that to this guitar. I wanted to keep this one like it was on the South American leg of the tour. But we didn't see anything, and all of a sudden, I saw pictures of it a couple of years ago. A friend of mine sent me some pictures, and said, "Don't show these to anybody." And I said, "I won't." But Dave had always thought, it was, knew Mick Mars got it, but that he thought that his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend had a big fight, and she smashed guitar and wasn't even around. And then years later, I'd asked a close friend of mine, and he said, no. He said, this guitar is alive and well, and it will make an appearance again one day. And lo and behold, a year or two later, I saw the pictures of it, and it's like, wow, it's still around. And then, as we all know, went up for auction. So we got to see some really good pictures. So a few years ago, what I did is on my replica, this is a lock body. It's the Walker style body with big, big horns and everything. I've showed this guitar before, but it's got a Michael McGuire FRT5 whale tail on it, unmarked and unchromed to look exactly like the one, original one that was on there. There's just a regular Floyd that's on there now. And when Ed gave it to Rudy, but this is about as close as you can get to what Ed had. Like I said, it doesn't even say Floyd Rose. Michael did this one for me special, period correct. And I got all the other stuff on here pretty much as, best that I can do. When I saw the pictures a couple of years ago what the back looked like, I had to strip and redo the whole back. I did not redo the front because the front was great, but the back had so many. So what I basically did is I taped off the white and covered the whole front, and then sanded and stripped the back, and then repainted the back to look like this, because this is what the real one looks like. And I even was able to get that little Z, whatever it is. And Michael McGuire also made me a custom 6-bolt neck plate, B1297, I think it is. Is that what it is? B129, yep, B1297 is what the serial number is. And 6 bolts, so kind of cool. The Donnie Ward neck. It's got the prototype vintage nut, the exact string retainer, and I was actually, and it's got #1 Edward Van Halen model, of course. If you guys have seen this, and it's got the gold Gatto crown heads. The only difference between the real one and this one is these were 90-degree tabs, not 45 like this one. But I'm not going to worry about that, But I did drill a little hole here and have a protruding screw because, as you know, and I never knew this until the Sotheby's auction, the string retainer, or the string tree, excuse me, somebody drilled a screw and they drilled it right out the back, and they just left it there. So of course I had to recreate that on mine. So anyways, this is also a great guitar. Yeah, cool stuff. I think it's in tune. No, it's actually not the. Anyways, the Kramer Ad guitar. Music Therapy Laz, you are back here. So anyways, yeah, Kramer Ad Frankie. It was just great to see it. I'll give one other piece of information on this that I have talked about before, but it was great to see it make an appearance again, and it's out there, and somebody just got it for $2.7 million. If you go to the Kramer Vintage website, you'll notice that the headstock on this guitar was clear coated, and I had mine clear coated too, thanks to Craig, VHS Custom Guitars. And the reason that it was clear coated is because initially, when Ed was going to work with Kramer, and they were in the process of doing the first guitar for him, which we believe is the Kramer Ad guitar, prior to Ed going there, they had made this mock-up guitar. It was like a star guitar, kind of like a half shark, half star, and it was red, white, and black striped, and it had that neck on it. And they presented it to Ed because that's what they thought he wanted, and Ed was like, "I don't want this. I don't like." No, Ed was kind of done with the. By that point, he wasn't interested in playing the star guitar shape anymore. He never played the Destroyer again. He was just into the Strat mode, and he wanted something like his Frankenstrat. So, but he liked the neck. So he took the neck off. There's pictures of the body. I have pictures of the body on the bench of that mock-up one that they did that Ed didn't like. There's a guy named Steve Z. Steve's a great guy. He's got some really good information on that. Alan, I'll get to your question here in just a second. But it was clear coated. So that's why the headstock on that neck is clear coated. And then that's like, I want a Strat body. And the story is they went upstairs, grabbed this Walker style body, which was made for some guy named Walker, Strat style, but it had the big horns, brought it down. Ed liked it. They put the neck on it, wired it up. And there's pictures of Ed playing it with a painted headstock and just wood, you know, and he liked it. And then they ended up painting it. Paul Unkert painted it. And then, you know, the whale tail, the original, you know, prototype whale tail, and it all came together like that. And Ed used it for a couple of shows at the tail end of the Diver Down tour. One of them was in Philly. He used it live, and then through the whole South American end of the tour, he used it in Brazil and Venezuela and Sao Paulo, and well, that's Brazil, but Caracas, which is Venezuela. He used it all over the place. Argentina, all that stuff's all over YouTube. And then after that, he never really played it again. And then sometime in 1985, he gifted it to Rudy. And then Rudy, I guess, sold it to Mick Mars years later. And Mick had it all these years. And then I think Mick sold it in 2001. He used it to record some songs after Dr. Feelgood. And we don't know who had it after Mick sold it and put it on auction. I kind of have an idea who it is, but I'm not sure. But that's kind of the main story on that. But that's why the headstock was finished, but the body wasn't clear coated. On a totally different subject, you've covered this before on other videos, but tell us about the particular tremolo arm nut washer assembly that was on the 5150 Kramer. Particular tremolo arm and nut washer. Yeah. Basically, Alan, it's without going to get my 5150, it's actually missing the neck right now because I'm getting a new neck for it. Another different story. I think it's an 11 millimeter style nut that is on these whale tails, and this is exactly the same nut that's on the 5150. It's got a what kind of washer? A nylon washer, and then it's got the long stem bar. I don't know if you can see it. See that long stem? Those are whale tail bars that were on the original FRT5. It's exactly like the 5150. The 5150 whale tail was just like this one, except it did have brass fine tuners, I think, and of course it said Floyd Rose on it. But that's basically, and it had the big, you can see on the posts, the Floyd posts, they're prototype posts. They have a huge top hat on them. They're much thicker. So kind of neat, but yeah, as far without going through the whole Floyd Rose thing, to answer your question, Alan, I think that I want to say it was an 11 millimeter nut on both sides, but you can just see how primitive they were. And of course, Ed's was, you know, it was loose like that, and I prefer it like that myself. It actually works pretty well. But just a basic nut and a nylon washer. But the difference is it has those big long stems on them, because that's what they were doing back then. And of course the big steel block, which I think are the best. Music therapy Les says history of that guitar is so awesome, turned up, and we got to see. Yeah, totally, dude. I was so happy to see that. Keith, I don't have time. I got to wrap this up, but I don't have time to go get the Megazone. I will at another time. If you go back in my shows, I did pull that out. And one of my last 4 or 5 shows, when I was going through guitars, that did make an appearance. And if you go back, you'll be able to find it. I don't have time to go out and grab it right now, so I apologize for that. I don't know who bought it, Laz. I've been trying to find out because I'm hoping that they will take more pictures of it and show it, and like you said, put it in a museum or something. If I'd have known that guitar was going to be in New York, I knew it was in California. Johnny Bean went out and saw it, but if I knew it was going to be in New York, I would have taken the day off from work, driven out there like I did to see the Frankenstrat when I was at the Met, and I would have seen that guitar in person because that's one of my favorite Kramers. My buddy Steve Nowicki, we all know Steve. So cool. He got to play on live with Hagar. I don't know if anybody heard the questions. I'll play that real quick. I was on Howard Stern with Steve, and I asked some questions that he was going to propose to. Howard, but I'll play that in a second. But Steve went out to see it, and I was like, oh, it was too late. I didn't have time to get out there. And the difference was when it was California, it was in glass. You couldn't see it. When it was in New York, it was just it was just like on a table on a stand. You could walk. I mean, you could literally go up and pick it up. I mean, no, they wouldn't let you, but you could see everything. So you got some really, really cool pictures of it. But I do hope it makes another appearance. Are there anyone that makes FRT5 copies? Yeah, I mean, there was a guy that did them years ago named Jim Francis. I don't know what the status of him is, but period correct guitar parts. Michael McGuire, a good friend of mine. You can find him online. He did a run of them, and I have a few of his. The one on my 5150 is a legit, real Hanson Metalworks FRT5 Whaletail. But I do have a couple of the other ones. I got one on my Neptune. I got this one. I think I got one other. I don't know where. I forget what it's on. But and they're literally exact because they use the real ones to design them. I don't know if he's ever. I'm hoping he does another run of them because I'd love to snag one more just for collection purposes, so I could have them up with a couple of my other bridges just for show. But I'm not sure. Alan says I know Mike makes the correct bars and has all the right parts. The angle of the bar is a little straighter than the regular Floyd suit. Yeah, so the Bumblebee bar, Alan, the original Bumblebee, not the one that's on, obviously with. Was on there when it went with Dimebag, but the original FRT1, and Mike sells one of these too. The bar's a little bit straighter. I don't know if that's the same bar that's on the 5150. It might be, but all the Whaletail bars are a little straighter than any of the German Schaller made Floyds. They're just a little bit straighter, but the B bar, the Bumblebee bar, the original one, was even straighter than that. It's kind of neat. Clayton James Hicks, how you doing? Transtrem Thursday. Yes, sir. Happy Thanksgiving, my friend. Keith, like I said, go back and I'll be doing some more shows, and I will make a point to pull that out. Barney, come here. Want to make an appearance real quick? Say happy Thanksgiving. We're gonna bounce you in a second. Barney says hi. And speaking of Barney, he's hoping to get some chicken today, right? What do you think? You gonna get some chicken? Turkey, excuse me, not chicken. Well, we might give him chicken and keep the turkey for ourselves. Last thing I'll just mention is, just want to make sure I hit all the topics. And I'll show this guitar one more time. But the last thing I'll mention is I got a message from our good friend Jeff Hausman, who runs and manages the Van Halen store and also the news desk. And he asked if I would be willing to send him some pictures or if he could use some pictures from some of my Instagram, Facebook posts of me modeling some of the EVH swag for the website. And I said, oh, that's great. I'd love to. So there's a couple pictures, one of myself and Barney wearing the Flying Eddie shirts. And this is on the VH site right now. This was taken back in July. Barney and I were at Starbucks up in New Hampshire, and I was wearing the Flying Eddie shirt. So this is back in July. Oh, it's a hot day that day. I remember that. And Barney and I were out going for a walk. That is on the VH. This is a screenshot from the VH store website. So if you go to the Flying Eddie's page and you got to hover over them and then they disappear, it's kind of weird. That's on there. And then my wife and I and my stepson are also on. This is also a snapshot That's Grayson with one of my EVH hats a couple years ago. And this is back end of October on Jesse and I's anniversary. We went away for the overnight, our first year wedding anniversary. I was wearing my Dixon flannel. And so we're going to, he wanted to use that. And he also asked if he could use Jessie, my wife, to model some pictures and stuff, T-shirts and stuff. And so I said, of course, yeah, and she's down for it. So I guess they're going to do some more. So stay tuned on that. But that was kind of a neat thing to make make an appearance on VH Store. So hopefully some more of that stuff comes. But I thought that was pretty cool. Got to take have a good weekend, music therapy. Happy holidays, man. Happy Thanksgiving. I think we just double check. We don't have anything else in the chat. So I guess we'll bring it to a close. The 5150 Scratch, 1964 Fender Strat. And yeah, we did the water slide decals on this, but you can see now you can kind of see. But when you're looking at it, I'll tell you, it looks pretty convincing. So you'll see this guitar more in the future. We'll talk about it. But I wanted to it's kind of an oddball. Doesn't get a lot of love, but I thought it was worth mentioning. So hopefully you guys liked it, enjoyed it. I would like to say thank you very much to everybody for your support, watching my show. Like I said, there is a donate button. If you go to my main page, it's just, PayPal me if you ever feel like donating to the channel. I'm going to have some more really cool guests coming on. George Felice will be back. Special surprise coming with that one really soon. I've been sworn to secrecy on that. So really cool stuff. And there's a few other folks I want to get on. I'm planning on that. I am planning to go to the NAMM show this year in January out in Anaheim. So maybe some of you guys are going to be out there. I'll meet up with you. I've got to start looking at getting my plane tickets for that one. But thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving. I'll be doing more shows. I love all you guys. I thank you for all your support. You guys are what makes doing all this stuff so much fun. Kurt's back. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks, Kurt. Thank you very much. You and I'll get together next week. We'll make that a little adjustment to the page. Kurt was great. He's the one that put the intro and the outro on. I want to do another intro at some point. I got another couple in mind that I want to do, but happy Thanksgiving, Larry. DSG Radio, thank you for doing for jumping on, man. Hope you do the first World Tour Guitar show one day. Yes, I will. I absolutely will. I want to go through all the tours. I've been wanting to do that for a long time, so I got to get a game plan together for that. Thank you for mentioning that. Thank you very much, all. Happy Thanksgiving. If I don't see some of you guys before Christmas time, I hope you have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I am going to try to get another show off in between that, so stand by and we'll have some fun. I guess there is one thing I'll say, and I guess I don't think this is a secret, but Michael McGuire and I are. This isn't the one I was talking about. This surprise before, but Michael McGuire and I are looking at getting Jim DeCola on the show. And Jim's going to do a show with us, and we're going to try to make that happen soon. It will be great to talk about the PB Wolfgangs and how that all went. So Mike and I are working on putting that together. Something we're doing as a little project. So hopefully that's making some headway. So stay tuned for that. That may or may not happen before the new year, but I'm going to try to get another show off on Rob EVH 5150 channel here before Christmas time. Thank you so much, guys. I love you. I appreciate everything. Thank you for all your support. Hope you guys have plenty of turkey today. Watch football if you like it. Enjoy your family and friends. And have a great Thanksgiving, guys. I love you all. Thank you so much. See you soon. Thank you.